G'day, welcome to another big edition of the DFNL Footy Show, round 15 preview, thanks to Benny Go Bank. My name's Yeendy, I'm here with Shane Anwell, and mate, this is a massive weekend. I know we've got a couple of weeks to go. There's plenty riding on every game this weekend.
Yeah, the penultimate round of the home and away season. There's some big games, certainly a top of the table clash and a couple down a little bit further that are going to have some impact on clubs playing finals.
I'm glad you used that word, mate, because I wasn't going to have a crack at it, fearing that I would stuff it up as we look to Avoca and Maryborough Rovers. We've got Avoca in 12th with 8 points, and we've got the Rovers in 8th with 28 points, and certainly a win for the Rovers will definitely shut Newstead out of the race. But the Rovers, they got that win last week, and they're just they need some momentum in what is a pretty congested bottom half of the top 8.
Yeah, exactly right. Look, I'll tip Rovers to win this because I think they've certainly got a lot riding on it, and as you said, it's going to sew up a finals position for them. Avoca have had a tough year, and they'll be the first to agree with that, and they'll have a crack at it though. But I think with what Maryborough Rovers have got to play for, they'll get over the line.
Yeah, and a win by the Rovers as well could catapult them into 6th spot as well at most. So certainly we'll see some ladder changes happening over the course of this weekend. And Campbell's Creek in 13th spot take on Natty Bialba in 3rd spot. It could get pretty ugly given the way that Natty Bialba just did a magnificent job last week, and Campbell's Creek they got a hiding second to none last week. Yeah, look, it's going to be another tough day for Campbell's Creek. I don't think they'll be the wrong end of the result margin that they were last week against Carisbrook. I think it'll be a little bit closer, but I couldn't guarantee how much closer it'll be. Look, Natty Bialba, they'll just want to get through the game, I think, and not have any injuries. They will finish in 3rd position, so they're not going to go up or down. They'll be looking to have a good, strong game, get away with no injuries, as I said, and move on to next week. Definitely right, mate. And I love the form of Taylor Strawn. Watched him in action for the first time last week, and I must say, I pumped it up on media early on in the week. He kicked the goal almost about 50 metres out, just kicked it around the body beautifully, and it sailed through. One of the great goals I've seen in 2017. He's got loads of talent, and looking forward for him to sort of lead the way for the Swans. But speaking of leading the way, we're leading the way nicely to what could be the grand final preview. Although the Swans might have something to say about that, a couple of others might try and do the same. But we've got 2nd place Carisbrook and 1st place Navarre. Whoever wins this one, top spot, just about sewn up.
Yeah, that's right. And look, I think you're right. Potentially it's a grand final preview, but some other clubs might have a different view on that. Navarre, I think, will be looking to atone for their loss to Carisbrook earlier in the year, the first time they played in the grand final rematch. So there's a lot riding on this for the 2 strongest clubs in the competition at the moment, and that shows they're only split on percentage at the top of the ladder. Whoever wins this probably will finish top of the ladder at the end of the season. So there's a lot to play for, a lot of pride, and a really good tune-up for the finals.
Which way do you see this one going, mate?
Look, it's a flip of the coin. I'm probably going to go for Navarre only because they'll want to get one back on Carisbrook from winning earlier in the year, and I think the Grasshoppers might get there.
I'm going to jump on the Redbacks bandwagon. They were in amazing form last week. Had over 50 scoring shots on the day, actually 60 scoring shots against Campbell's Creek, and you can't muck around with good form like that. Gave them some handy percentage. So I'm on the Redbacks bandwagon at home. Royal Park versus Harcourt. We've got a battle between 5th and 4th, and a win from the Tigers, who just seemed to come out of nowhere in recent weeks, Shano. A win here could see them in 4th spot.
Yeah, that's right. Certainly a lot to play for here, as there is this time of year. 4th versus 5th, I think one of the matches of the round. The previous game would be, of course, but this is certainly up there for what's riding on the result.
Yep.
So both clubs are going to give it their all, as they would every week. I'm going to go for Harcourt because I think they've just been in a little bit more consistent form over recent weeks, but you've got the double chance and the top 4 finish riding on this. So again, maybe a flip of the coin, but I'll tip towards Harcourt.
I'm going on Royal Park's bandwagon. I watched Harcourt last week, and I know Natty Bialba are good. I think we all know that, but I just thought there was a big gap Harcourt's potential wasn't fulfilled, and they've got a lot of improvement to show on last week. Whereas Royal Park, they come over a big win against Trentham, so I think that form is going to be a big riding factor in that one. Newstead in 9th spot. Well, I mean, they'll be counting their losses from last week. They take on Denali, who are in bottom spot.
Yeah, look, Newstead disappointed with the result last week. Mathematically, they can make the finals. Realistically, they won't make the finals. So, look, I'm going to go for Newstead in this game over Denali. It'd be good to see Denali have a competitive game. They've been able to string a little bit over the last few weeks. If they can do it across a game, I think the result might be a bit closer. But I think Newstead will get over the line.
Well, they did push the Rovers last week, at least in the first term anyway, the Eagles. So you're right there. They've got some of that potential. They need to string it together consistently. I'm on the Newstead bandwagon now. One of the danger games of the weekend. We've got Trentham in 6th and Maldon in 11th, and they are the Bombers coming off a big win over Newstead, the team we were speaking about before. This could be scary for Trentham because their form has not been convincing at all.
No, it hasn't, and we've spoken about it over the last 3 or 4 weeks that they just seem to have got the wobbles a bit. I think I said earlier in the week. So look, they're going to go into this confident that they'll have a win, but they'll need to play with that confidence as well. And Maldon certainly will be full of confidence after that good win against Newstead last week. So it's got the potential to be a really good game, and I think if you've got a chance to get along to that one, certainly do so.
Definitely worthwhile getting down to the Saints. The final game, we've got Lexington in 10th and Talbot in 7th. Talbot have been in some good form in the last few weeks, and Lexington haven't been too bad. They pushed Navarre last week. For a team that's down the bottom half of the ladder, if they played one good quarter at the end, the last quarter, that things could have been different in the upset of the season. So they've got a lot of confidence.
Yeah, that's right. This is our last Sunday game for the year in the home and away season. Lexington, I think, would be disappointed with how their season's panned out. I think they were looking for a few more wins across the year. Talbot are doing well, sitting up there in 7th place. They've got the potential to move up the ladder there and have a good finish going into the finals. So they've got a bit to play for. Having said that, I think I'll stick with them and go with Talbot.
I'll stick with him as well, mate. So it should be a good game, that one. Well, thanks to the Bendigo Bank. That was the round 15 preview. Thanks to you, Shano, for joining us this week. We'll catch up with you next week, mate.
My pleasure.